Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral Concept. Happy to be with you here today. Looking forward to getting into our motivation and mindset Monday topic, which is one of my favorites to be talking about, and that is self-talk, or more specifically, negative self-talk, and how we have to literally turn that on its head if we ever look forward to moving forward in our life. So one of the big things that I like to talk about, one of the big things that I like to focus on is before you ever reach your intended goals, the dreams you've set for yourself in life, you need to first start with your mind, and that begins with the thoughts that you are thinking. And this is some really interesting data and science that I've been looking into. The average person has between 60 and 70,000 thoughts per day. That's 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day. We're only a difference of about 10,000, right? That's a lot of thoughts per day. And the reason is that we have so much input. The input is we're walking down the street, taking everything in. We have all the decision fatigue that we go through with work every day, getting ready in the morning, what we have to do the next day as we're trying to get to bed the night before, which is why so many of us have sleep-based issues with this underlying anxiety that we don't even know that is there. So what we have to think about is if we're having 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day, which we know we are because that's now been scanned and calculated of how many thoughts we're moving through on a daily basis, we need to ask ourselves, what are those thoughts? What are the majority of those thoughts? That's what you have to ask yourself, and you're not going to be able to figure it out right now. But the goal of a lot of these Mindset and Motivation Mondays is to create more self-awareness. It was my word, my phrase for 2018, and I'm really focusing in forward to that, moving that into 2019. And the reason is this: until we become self-aware, we don't even know how we got here. And that's because you are having so many thoughts per day. I don't know if where you're at right now, if you're stuck because of the majority of your thoughts. Remember this, that let's say that 70, 80% of our thoughts are negative. Or they're not negative as in meaning like we're trying to have a bad life or we're trying to be unhappy or anything like that. But what if they're the opposite of moving you in the direction towards your goals? So let's say that you set a goal for yourself, but it's been more than a year and you really haven't gotten any closer. Now, if it's only been a couple weeks, it could be simply time. That's it. Like we have to give ourselves time to achieve a lot of these goals. But let's say it's been a year and you haven't seen any forward progress. At this point, I think it's safe to assume that you are at least self-sabotaging. And I know that you don't want to hear this and I know that you don't want to believe it. And the only reason I'm saying it is because I want you to achieve your goals. I want you to achieve all your dreams. But there's most likely some type of subconscious level of thinking that's not enabling you to move forward towards your goals. Now, will some goals take more than a year? Of course, but you should see massive progress in 1 year's time. So I believe that right now, if you set a goal for yourself and you have not achieved it yet, and it should be something that you can achieve within a year's time, that there's something holding you back. Or if you feel anxiety, if you feel low level of depression or lower mood, is there a disconnect with where you're at right now in life? As Jim Carrey and other people have put it, the character you're playing right now, is there a disconnect between who you want to be and who you are right now in life? And a lot of that has to do with our input. That means what thoughts are coming in is what we get out in life. I want to explain that a little bit more. So we have to understand is that all of these thoughts are either reinforcing what we already know to be true, what we believe to be true at least, or they're working to change that paradigm that we have. So as we're thinking all of these new thoughts, they're creating some type of new feeling within us. Now, it might not be a powerful feeling that just bubbles up to the surface, but it's saying, yeah, I believe that to be true. Yes, I believe that to be true, or I don't believe that to be true, or I don't have too much feeling on that at all. So we have all these different inputs coming in. Well, as they're reinforcing our current thoughts, we're getting the same feelings. And as I've said before, as we get these same emotions and feelings, we're then acting upon those. If we're not happy about something, well, we can either try to change it or we can kind of move away from it. A lot of us simply move away from it. Or we just tend to say, well, that's our lot in life, right? That's just who we are. It's the hand that we've been dealt. It's what we've been given. And that's simply it. We're going to allow it to be. But that doesn't make us any happier. If we think those types of thoughts, we simply reinforce that and say, yeah, that's who I am. That's the type of person I am. I'm the type of person who just isn't able to lose the weight, just not able to get well. Everyone in my family has been overweight. Everyone in my family gets, X disease of the body, whatever it is, fill in the blank, right? Rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's, sarcoidosis, cancer, IBS, skin rashes, you name it, right? You name it. Oh, that's genetic. We all get that. Okay, well, that is a reinforced belief now that you literally sink into what's called the synapses of your nervous system, your body, and your brain. And that is how you are wiring yourself. And you're giving yourself an out. And again, I do not want you to get upset by this. I want you to use this as fuel to understand how the brain and the body get wired. Your body and your brain are here for you to condition it and wire it however you would like. The problem is that most of the hard wiring was done before 8 years old. And that's scary. It's scary for a lot of us with children right now. I've got 2 girls, 4 and 6 years old. Even though I'm conscious of this, it's worrisome to think like they're being programmed right now. But then what about if you have a 14-year-old or an 18-year-old? It's like, well, is it already done? No, it's not done. But the initial wiring was done. The initial conditioning was done. The subconscious mind has been set. Now, the great news is this. It can be rewired. You are able to create new wiring based on your self-talk. But the problem is this. This is such a big issue. We are not aware of our self-talk. A lot of times we become our own worst enemy. We say things to ourselves or we allow these thoughts to bubble up in our minds that put our own selves down. So we look at ourselves in the mirror, we say, oh, I'll never be as good as a friend, a family member, a sibling, a coworker. Or we look in the mirror, we say, I'll never be as thin as, or I'll never be able to lose the weight, or I'll never have clear skin, or you name it, any of those things. This can be extrapolated over any area of your life. Or I'll never find the right person, or I'll never have the great relationship. I'll never be able to move forward in my career. I'll never be able to do these things in life. I'll never be able to travel. I'll never be able to. As you say that word never, or you put yourself down in any way, or you're negative about any particular topic that you want for yourself. It's okay in life to be negative. Like, you can say negative things. That's okay. But not about you when it applies to you wanting to do the opposite of that. So if you are someone that wants the clear skin, the great relationship, getting well, or losing the weight, whatever it might be, moving forward in your career, you can't tell yourself that you're not going to have it and then expect that you will. So if you're looking to not have something, yes, then you should put that negative and never in front of it. But if there's something in your life that you want to achieve, we need to rewire that thought process. And we need to absolutely start with our self-talk. You cannot be your worst enemy. There's plenty of other people out there that are happy to do it for you, right? There's plenty of other people that will be the naysayers. There's plenty of other people that will put you down. When I was trying to get well, the doctors, the MDs, the specialists, the best of the best, right? People ask me, like, why do you say this? Why do you say that? I saw the best of the best, okay? These are literally the best doctors in the world. And they didn't have answers for me. What happens when they don't have answers for me? They told me it was in my head. They told me we just have to wait and see. We'd have to keep an eye on it, that we'll just have to wait till you get worse, that we can put a different diagnosis on it. That's what I was hearing. If I were to let, and I did for a while, the best doctors, right, and I have that in air quotes, supposedly, in the world, tell me that it was all in my head, or that there was no hope for me, or that we just have to wait and see, nothing we can do. If that was it, if I allowed them to have that become my reality, and I did for a while, then I would have been depressed and I would have been anxious and I would have worried all the time. And yes, that's what I did. That was my life. And I had insomnia and I had brain fog and everything was low mood. Everything. Because why? What did I have to be excited about? I didn't have my health. I didn't have my energy. I couldn't keep muscle on my body. I couldn't keep weight on. All of these different issues, right? Couldn't sleep. So, of course, I was in a bad mood. At that point, what was my self-talk like? Well, it was negative. And you could say I was justified in my negative thinking and my negative feelings. And then, of course, my negative actions. Well, why did I have negative actions? Well, negative actions in relationships, negative actions with friends, negative actions with family, like with whoever. Why would I have that? Well, first of all, I was thinking poor thoughts. I was feeling poor feelings because I felt terrible. And then, of course, I was acting on it. How many people have negative thoughts, negative feelings, and then they have great, happy actions? Not a lot of people, because that's a lot to overcome. I mean, there are some people out there, but not a lot. And I'm certainly not one of them, right? I mean, that's why I work so hard on my mindset, is because if I'm thinking good thoughts, if I'm in a good place, I have good feelings. And then I'm going to be much nicer to everyone else, being much nicer to myself. Right? You don't always have to be nice to yourself, but if you want bigger, better things for yourself in life, just in general, relationships, wellness, longevity, body transformation, career, all of these great things, it starts with self-talk. Because if you can put up the visualization-based boards, right? You can put up the vision boards. You can say the right things to yourself. You can do all of those things. But if you don't start to rewire and believe it at a deeper level, which starts with your self-talk. So if you look at that vision board, or if you have your goals for yourself, you're like, yeah, but I'll never achieve it. You've already short-circuited that system. Or you've actually, I should say, wired it in a way where you see that, but you don't believe it. So there's a great divide between you and your goals. So as you're listening to this, as I hope that you're starting to absorb it, I need you to understand everyone has their own goals. Think about your 1 or 2 big goals right now. Not 30 years from now, but think about right now. Like, what is it now that if you were to achieve, you would feel so much better, so much happier? Start there and then build off of that. Don't go for the 30-year goal yet. Don't go for like the ultimate life goal yet. Start with where you're at now. What can you achieve now that if you were to do that, you would be happier? You would be healthier. You'd have more energy. You'd feel better. But also that if you had that, it would then allow you to conquer even greater goals in life. That's what people are missing. Sometimes they're starting too big. Start with the things that will then snowball. That's a domino effect. I ask that of people in my practice all the time, and I ask my health coaches to ask their clients this every single time they meet with them. We're going to talk about everything today, we say. But what's the one thing that you think about all the time that if we were to fix that one thing, maybe everything else would start to get better? And they say, oh, wow, I haven't thought of it in that way. Because they've been given a diagnosis, but oftentimes it's not the diagnosis that they're coming for. They're like, here's the symptoms. And they might say, you know, I have this, and this, but I really want to lose 60 pounds. And we say, great. Why can't that be your goal? Why can't that be your big goal that we focus on? Sure, we'll do all the other things like work on the blood sugar and Hashimoto's and other things, but your goal is to lose 60 pounds. I know in order for us to help you lose 60 pounds, we need to get that body healthy of yours. But I also want to get your mind right as well, so that if we help you lose the 60 pounds, you don't need us forever. My goal is to make people self-sufficient. It's not to rely, there's a lot of doctors out there. We want you to come every 2 weeks or every week to the practice. And that's great in the beginning. And I get that. And you need that just to, like what we're talking about today, to stay in the right frame of mind, to do your follow-ups. Now, we don't see people every week. We're not able to do that. We'd love to, but simply like time-wise and all that, that's not even a possibility. But you do need to stay in the right frame of mind. But then after that, you need to be self-sufficient. And that starts with day after day, a beginning to change that self-talk. So I'll tell you right now, those thoughts, those feelings that you have, that creates your reality. People are upset at their reality. Now, you might not have been dealt the best hand. So in terms of like genetics and all of those things, which people blame all the time, and of course I blamed it as well, right? Because I was willing to blame everything. So it's like, okay, I'll blame genetics too. What else do you have for me to blame? I'll blame that. I'll blame doctors. I'll blame my dermatologist that put me on 3,000 capsules of amoxicillin. I'll blame my pediatrician from when I was young where, we were on a Z-Pack or amoxicillin 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year. Whenever you got a cold, you were on that Z-Pack, right? I could blame all of those people. What good does that do me? Nothing, right? Just part of my path, part of my journey. I can't continue to blame anyone. That's not going to get us anywhere. No judgment, no blame. That is just part of the journey. What I need to do right now is to focus on my future, because all of those previous things happened to me when? They happened to me in the past. Not now, not happening right now. Right now I'm recording a podcast. It's the only thing that's happening right now. Whatever you're doing right now, it's the only thing that's happening right now. Your past is not happening right now. Your future is not happening, but you are creating your future with every thought that you have and every feeling that you feel and every action that you then take. So again, you're not going to be able to control all 60 to 70,000 thoughts, right? Because many of them are subconscious. So what we need to do is be more aware of the thoughts that are creating some type of feeling inside of you as you're thinking them. You just have to start to become more aware. Is this thought serving me? And it's a binary decision, right? It's a 0 or 1. That's it. Negative or positive. That's it. Is this thought serving me? Ask yourself that all the time. If you look at yourself in the mirror and you put yourself down, is that thought serving you? Yes or no? And you might say, but it's the truth. No, it's not the truth. It's your truth as of right now. So that thought about you looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I'll never be, or, oh, I'm overweight. Oh, I'm aging. I'm this, I'm that. No. Those thoughts are harming you, and they're giving you more of that thing that you don't want, because you are reinforcing that inside of your brain. You might say, well, no, it's just the truth. It is only your truth as you decide to see it, feel it, and then act on it. So what I need you to do is to create new truth for yourselves, which is simply saying this. I need you to begin to rewire the brain, to become more self-aware of what's going on. There are many ways to do this, but we need to create those new connections. The reason we need to do this is because we need to create new conditions in our lives. But we can't create a new condition in our life without having new thoughts that lead to new emotions and feelings, more positive ones, that then allow us to have a little bit of hope, a little bit of faith, that then allows us to take those actions, which will create more of what we do want in life. Now, as we start to get little wins, we start to get a little bit more motivation. I talked about this last week on the Mindset of Motivation Monday. I hope you tuned into that. As we do that, then we say, oh, I am moving forward. Not a lot, but I'm moving forward. This is working. If I begin to do more of it, maybe at even a greater speed with a little bit more feeling, I can maybe even move forward faster. You don't have to put a timeline on it, but you're going to get there. So the first thing we need to do is this. We need to catch ourselves in the act. In the act of feeling good, yes, that's fantastic. And in the act of having that negative thought. What some people do is they keep a bracelet or an elastic on their wrist, okay? Now, every time, because that something, wearing you ring something that allows you, when you're looking at it, like, oh yeah, I need to become more self-aware, right? So you look at that and you say, okay, yep, I need to be aware of my thoughts. But a lot of people will wear an elastic band, meaning like as you pull that elastic, you let it snap back. Now, it doesn't have to be you don't have to pull it back a foot and let it snap back, but you create a little bit of a shock. And that shock is conditioning your nervous system, which is wired to your brain to say, no more of those thoughts. Now, you can do that, and people do it all the time, and it does work. But a gentler way to do that would simply be to just say, stop. When you have the negative thought, meaning like, oh, I'm never going to get well, stop. Right before you even finish it, you say stop or cancel or rewire. People use all three. I like rewire because what I'm doing next is, so I could say to myself, and back in the day, I had to do all this. I mean, it was not natural for me. So I'd start to say, oh, I'm exhausted again this morning. I would say stop, and then it'd be rewire. And then what I would do is I would put in the new condition. And for me, I love the Emile Coué, his saying, and I wrote about it in the Rain Barrel Effect. I talk about it all the time. It's just a go-to. It's a mantra that you just say all the time to yourself until you essentially own it. And that is every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Well, every day in every way, great. That's broad, right? Like everything you do. Every day, When is it? No, every day in every way. So every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Well, better and better at what? It's whatever you want it to be. You don't even have to say what you're getting better at. That was the amazing auto-suggestion that Emile Coué, was a very famous French psychologist, used in his practice to get outstanding results. It is the ultimate placebo. It is. So when I say placebo, I don't mean that in a bad way at all. Placebos work. They're scientifically proven to work. But you can make your mind into the ultimate placebo or nutritional supplement or adaptogen, like however you want to think about it. When you're dealing with the worst of the worst in your life, you can say to yourself and rewire every single day. And I would just do it right from you wake up in the morning. Hey, today's a great day. It might not be a great day. It might not. But you have to begin to rewire. If you keep saying it's a bad day or things are going well for you or you gain the weight or you're not feeling well or any of those things, you're just going to get more of it. And I know this seems like it's counterintuitive, counterproductive because you don't feel that way yet. But you will never feel that way until you begin to move your mind in that direction. Because as you say to yourself, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day in every way, I'm feeling better and better. As you move in that direction, you're telling your mind that you are getting better, that you are then feeling. If you say that to yourself 10 times, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. And you feel it, you'll begin to have emotions that are more positive. Those emotions have been shown to affect your immune system positively, to relax the fight or flight. It actually helps to rebuild and rejuvenate that body. But also, you're going to then be in a better mood and open to new ideas, possibilities, and things that you can do. All you're trying to do is set yourself up for success. But if your negative self-talk is always keeping you down, you are the one that's holding you back. No one else in life. Now, I didn't have the right doctors, right? I didn't have the right blueprints. There was no online that I knew of to be able to find out my answers back, 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago now. Because I did not have that, it did not mean that it was necessarily I was at a shortage or it was my fault. But it meant at that moment, I did not have all of the wherewithal, all of the resources I needed to move forward. But for many years, the reason I didn't move forward as fast as I could or could have or wish that I did was simply because I was stuck in a negative cyclical-based loop of me feeling sorry for myself, going to doctors or other people, them feeling sorry for me, not knowing what to do. And then I'd be like, see, there is no hope. And then I would fall back into a funk. And then I would say, all right, well, there's a new doctor and they do this. Let me try that. And then that wouldn't work. And then I would go back into it. Whereas all along, I wish I had known that there's no silver bullet, that there's no one thing, that what I need to really do is to put one foot in the front of the other, to take daily action, to try things, to see what parts of it work, what doesn't work, to use what works to begin to move further forward on that part, to leave behind what doesn't work, but also learn from it, not from a negative thought process, but I just say to myself, great, one more thing that I know doesn't necessarily work for me. Oh, I found out about food sensitivity testing. Great. Now I know that these foods are not great for my body. I don't have to ask why. I don't have to be upset that I can't eat kidney beans, that I can't eat almonds, that I can't eat these different things. Hey, it's okay. If I can't eat those things, that's not a problem because I can eat all these other foods. And now that I know I'm going to have less inflammation in my body because I don't eat those foods. And I also found out that I have a difficult time rebalancing my body through stress. Okay, well, now I need to work on these things that will begin to lower stress in my life. I can look at that. I can look at this as a new adventure. What can I start to get into? And no, I don't have any experience in those things, but I can begin to learn it because there are books out there that I can read on it. And so all I would try to do is take these negative thoughts and these negative things that were happening in my life and just say, I'm not saying that they're great things. And I don't want you to say the negative things in your life are great either. But what I want you to realize is that your hope, your dreams are on the other side of you beginning to realize and tell yourself that there can be more for you. And that's all I want you to say to yourself. that where you're at right now does not have to be your life's destiny. That if you're not able to lose the weight, if you're not able to get well, if you're not in the best relationship, if you don't have the career that you want, if you don't feel the spiritual connectedness that you need in your life, there's no doubt in my mind that there is that hope for you. You just need to have that faith that it will happen, because it will. Why would it happen to me and millions of other people that were where you're at right now? Like, that's the thing. How are we any different, more special than you are? The answer is we're not. And most likely, you're going to be able to accomplish this a lot faster than I did. I think I had to work through a lot of issues, a lot of things that I was holding inside of me in order to take things to the next level. I'm willing to bet that you don't have maybe as much, or even if you have the same amount, I can tell you this, that once you get that ball moving, you're going to actually thoroughly enjoy the process. You're going to enjoy creating a vision board for yourself. You're going to enjoy visualizing your new future. You're going to realize that right now they're just dreams, but they're not going to be for long. That these are the things that you're going to set up as goals in your life, and you're going to become a goal-achieving machine. But the first step to that process isn't even necessarily believing. I just need you to suspend disbelief. I just need you to believe that it's not going to not happen, right? I just need you to believe that there's a possibility of it happening. Then from there, we're going to use that mind and our self-talk to start to push out and cancel the negative thoughts. And it will take some time. That's okay. And refill those with what we do want. So if you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you say, I'm still, overweight, or I'm still 30 pounds away, 40 pounds away, it doesn't look like it's ever going to happen. All I need you to say is stop, cancel. This is not the way that I think. This is not the way that I talk to myself. I am the person who achieves my goals. I am getting better every day in every way. I'm moving forward each and every day. You don't even need to tell yourself how, because you don't have the how yet. If you had the how, you'd probably already reach your goal, right? So what I need you to do is just start to change that self-talk. Change the loop. Begin to rewire and recondition your life, because as you do that, all of the answers that you need will begin to unfold. They really will. But it first starts with actually at a subconscious level saying, this can happen, that I can move forward, that I can actually achieve the things that I want in life. Just those thoughts alone, I'm telling you right now, without even achieving your goal, just having the thoughts and the mindset that you are closer to your goal than you ever have been before in your life, just that feeling alone is worth it. It really is. So the nice thing is you'll be able to be happy now, even before you ever achieve that goal. And that's really what it's all about. That's one of those secrets that they never teach you, that they never tell you about, is that in order to be happy, we need to start feeling it now. In order to lose the weight, we need to start feeling like we've already lost the weight now. In order to get well and have the energy we want, we need to actually feel like we have the energy now. And I know that that seems hard, and I know that that seems complicated, but just feeling what it would be like, you can do that. You can feel what it would be like to have the energy, to have lost that weight, to be in the relationship, to have the career that you want, to have the spiritual connectedness. Try to feel the feeling of what it would be like. Just own it now. Your subconscious does not know the difference. And as you start to feel those feelings, you'll start to take new actions to move towards those goals. And your goals, I'm telling you right now, will literally be right around the corner. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning into another Motivation and Mindset Monday. Really appreciate you tuning in. As always, do feel free to share this show with anyone you believe it could serve. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stephencabral.com/courses.